welcome to the last episode of this mini series on my channel called Breaking Down Anxiety. और आज के एपिसोड में हम लोग एक्सप्लोर करने वाले हैं एंग्जाइटी को थ्रू द लेंस ऑफ faith. We are going to try and understand the importance of faith in our lives. What is the connection between anxiety and faith? And थोड़ी सी philosophical बातें हम लोग यहाँ पर करने वाले. Again, one of my big interests in life. So basically, where I'm coming from is जब भी in the past few months मैंने बहुत सारे लोगों के interviews देखे about their battle with depression and anxiety. And whenever I watch TED Talks, what I found is whenever people look back upon their struggle with anxiety and depression, वो हमेशा एक चीज़ कहते हैं कि now when I look back on my life, I can connect the dots and figure out मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों हुआ था. That it was supposed to lead me onto a certain path. That there was a bigger purpose behind all these things. And I'm a huge believer of all these things. I think whatever happens to you in your life is happening for this big reason, for a bigger plan which you're not aware of. And इन्हीं सब चीज़ों को हम आज के एपिसोड में एक्सप्लोर करेंगे with स्तुति again. अगर तुमने एपिसोड 3 मिस किया and you don't know who स्तुति is, she is my friend from television जो पिछले 10 सालों से अष्टांग योगा प्रैक्टिस कर रही है और लोगों को सिखा रही है. She is also currently studying Buddhist philosophy. So we are going to talk about Buddhism, what exactly does it say, and what are the tools that Buddhism gives you to help you with your anxiety. So let's begin today's video. And I'm so glad to have you back, Stuthi. How are you?
I'm very well, Aarti. How are you?
I'm good. And jumping straight to point, अभी थोड़ी देर पहले मैं intro में बोल रही थी कि if you zoom out of the picture, of your life and you look at all these things about depression and anxiety, and when you look back on it, you always figure कि किसी रीजन से ये तुम्हारे लाइफ में आया था. लाइक वो अलग बात है कि बायोलॉजिकल हो सकता है, ये हो सकता है, साइकोलॉजिकल हो सकता है, बट when you look at it in the philosophical way, there is always a reason that things happen to you. So do you believe in that theory?
I completely believe in that theory. In fact, there are a lot of things in our life, events, people that act as catalysts.
Yeah.
And sometimes as terrible as those events or experiences may be,
Yeah.
sometimes it's these really difficult experiences that turn us towards what we were supposed to find. When life goes on simply and comfortably, a lot of times we are not shaken out of our complacency. When you're really pushed against the wall is when sometimes you find that one thing that you were seeking.
Yeah. And this also kind of somehow takes me back to this episode of Oprah that I'd watched where she says, the universe whispers to you. It sends you little whispers here and there. And when you ignore all the whispers, it shakes you up so that you wake up and take notice. मेरे लाइफ में I have to go back. Now, I can't talk about anxiety because it's ongoing, but when I go back and look upon depression that I went through in 2017, I always think कि if it hadn't happened to me, I would have never started my YouTube channel. I started it out of this desperation, that frustration and desperation of not getting to be as creative as I wanted to be. So now when I look back on it, it was that. Otherwise, I was comfortable in my TV job, making some good money, partying 4 times a week, going on dates, and not looking at what my purpose was. And was I living my purpose?
So a lot of times it's really the difficult times that turn us towards finding something that's more sustaining and that's more reliable. Things change, people change, circumstances change, things that make you happy change. But you have to find something, that one thing that's unshakable no matter what.
But has this happened to you also कि जब you look back on your life and you see कि oh अच्छा इसके लिए मेरे लाइफ में एंजाइटी आई होगी. Like have you gone through anxiety and depression yourself?
Yeah, I have gone through my share of anxiety and mild depression. 2016 was an exceptionally difficult year for me. I lost my father completely unexpectedly. He fell in the bathroom, he broke his C-spine and he was hospitalized for a month. And around the same time is when my friend was extremely unwell. She suffered from multi-organ failure. She died at the age of 36 actually, exactly 21 days after I lost my father. The thing about our society, Indian society in particular, is that we have a very strong emotional support system when it comes to numbers. When it really comes to listening, I don't know if we do such a good job. We don't know how to ask somebody what they are going through, if they're doing okay. We don't really reach out to people and find out if they are going through some struggles. Despite being in India and traveling after that, I think that grief stayed with me. I felt like I needed something whereby I could handle this myself. I just had to come to terms with the fact that there wouldn't be a replacement for my father in my life. I had to find ways of making myself feel complete. Buddhism, in that sense, and Vipassana was a complete deep dive. I went in one person, I came out another person. In hindsight today, I know that if it hadn't been for that, I don't think I would have turned to meditation, Vipassana, or Buddhism. So, in many ways, it was those personal tragedies that made me stronger, more resilient, trust my faith.
Wow. Okay, but before we move on and talk a little more about Buddhism, which is what Stuti is going to take us through, मुझे ये चीज बोलनी थी कि आज हम लोग एंजाइटी को एक्सप्लोर कर रहे हैं through the lens of faith. But when we say faith, I'm not saying कि तुम लोगों ने वही faith अपनाना चाहिए जिसके बारे में हम बात कर रहे हैं. Everybody is free to choose their own faith. Whether तुम्हें एक religion follow करना है, you want to follow Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, or if you want to, take up spirituality, that is totally your choice. So, Stuti, like last time we also discussed this whole thing कि how the generations before us, जैसे हमारे मम्मी पापा है, हमारे grandparents है, उस generation में there was this strong faith in religion. Like I know my Aji, for a matter of fact, all her life she believed so much in God. Not even a single day of her life she had her lunch before doing her full-fledged aarti. And that aarti was a 1 hour ritual in itself. मतलब जितने प्यार से she would bathe all the idols and get flowers and clean the whole place and light diyas and sing the aarti. So you know what I'm saying? वो जो level of faith था, that is missing from our generation. And जब मैंने जो थोड़ा थोड़ा पढ़ा, it says that is kind of a contributor to our mental problems. Like this thing that we really easily ignore in our generation. It's very fashionable to say I'm an atheist, I'm an agnostic. But have you questioned yourself? Why are you an atheist? Or what does exactly being an agnostic mean?
I think this is one of the statements we should all be making to ourselves. If you believe that something is true, you should also be willing to believe that the opposite could be true. So, as much as you believe that God and a higher power does not exist, you have to be willing to believe that the possibility that exists is also very, very high. In terms of our generation being agnostic or an atheist, the rebellion is against religious diktats.
Yeah.
Do this, don't do this shouldn't be done this way, this should be done this way, without any scientific logic or reasoning behind it. I think this remains one of the reasons why I found Buddhism, because in Buddhism, in a recent interview, His Holiness very clearly mentioned, don't say yes, yes, ask why. What you shared about your grandmother sounds very similar to what I experienced with my grandmother. Even at the age of 84, I think, or 86, she was someone who would wake up at 4:30 in the morning,
Wow.
draw water from the well, take a shower, wash her white clothes, hang them to dry, clean the altar, light the lamp, do the puja, read her books for about 2 hours, and then she would step into the kitchen for her first cup of tea. She continued cooking simple vegetarian meals for herself till she was 88, when she finally moved to my aunt's place. This was a woman who didn't have her kids around. Only one daughter was close by. Her husband had passed away. She had lost a son. She wasn't working. She wasn't keeping herself busy. These little rituals that she had, that kept her grounded.
Wow. Moving on to faith, can you tell me what is faith for you? Like that whole lighthouse thing that we touched upon in the last episode.
So one of my favorite definitions about faith is that it is an expression of hope for something better. We act in faith when there is no guarantee, no certainty. You don't know the outcome, but you still have some inner strength and faith. To me, faith is like a lighthouse. A lighthouse is what guides you back home from choppy waters. So metaphorically speaking, all these choppy waters are everything that everyone is experiencing emotionally.
In your everyday life.
Yeah. And this faith is that one steady symbol that is unwavering, that will bring you back home.
And this somehow explains the relation between anxiety and faith. You know how faith can help anxiety, because anxiety stems from uncertainty. It stems from the worry and fear of the uncertain in a way. And by having a strong faith in something, bhale hi wo religion ho, bhale hi wo, I don't know, it's the universe. I believe very strongly in the universe. So whatever it is that you want to believe in so strongly, that gives you that rooting. You are protected. There is somebody for you, and things will go fine.
I used to ask a lot of, why is this happening to me? All of us do at some point. I do too.
True.
You have to replace that question. Why is this happening for me?
Yeah.
What is it that you can learn out of every adversity?
Yeah. Okay, now coming to the Buddhism aspect of it, जिसके बारे में आज हमें बात करनी है. So can you first tell us what Buddhism is exactly?
In my understanding of Buddhism so far, it is not a religion. It is a way of life. It is a way of realizing that nothing in life lasts forever. Nothing is permanent. If you're feeling sad and depressed, remember, it won't last forever. If you're extremely elated and happy, that also won't last forever.
Shit, I wish it did.
But a lot of our struggles, be it anxiety, depression, leaning towards suicidal thoughts, a lot of it is essentially the mental noise that we find ourselves unable to deal with. What we so badly need more than ever before, especially in the context of the last 2-3 days, is a certain loving kindness, loving compassion, which is at the heart of Buddhism. You treat yourself kindly, you treat the other person kindly. This is our true nature. This is one of the cores of Buddhism. Remember that nothing lasts forever. It's called anicca in Pali language. It means impermanence. Metta is the other word, which is loving kindness or loving compassion. The reason why I was saying that it's a way of life is that it has nothing to do with robes, beads, cushions, mats, nothing. It only is how you live your life, what you say, what you think, what your actions are. Are you a compassionate person? These are the fundamentals of Buddhism. And one of the fundamentals of Buddhism is meditation and mindfulness. I'm just going to narrate this one short story for you. So a man is sitting on this horse and they are very quickly going down this road, like they have some really important work. So another man who was just by the roadside shouted and asked this person on the horse, "Where are you going?" And the man on the horse replies, "I don't know, ask the horse."
Ouch.
And
Story of most of our lives.
sometimes is what your mind does to you.
Yeah.
This is how the mind controls you. And you just have to turn the table and realize you can control the mind. When you are a consistent practitioner, be it of Vipassana or any other school of Buddhism, you're able to objectively see things. That detachment we spoke about, that sets in very quickly. Fundamental aspect of Buddhism that I want to add here is the middle path. He basically says, find your balance. Not too little, not too much. What I mean by the middle path is to find that state of equilibrium or balance where you feel at ease with yourself. So if you recognize that social media is affecting the way you feel emotionally, then find that balance. I don't mean stop Instagram and stop Facebook.
Yeah.
And I'm giving you the social media example because we spoke about it extensively in the previous video and so many people can relate to it.
Yeah. So coming to the most important part, so what are the tools that Buddhism gives you, which help you in managing your anxiety?
One of the first steps in handling anxiety through Buddhism is to be able to find your center. Finding your center simply means what I said earlier. Who are you when you're not doing anything, when you're not working, when you're not reliant on any labels and validation? Who am I when I'm sitting in complete silence? And for this, the first step that you do is sit and breathe very, very deeply. And there are tons of YouTube tutorials on deep breathing. It's essentially belly breathing. Just take deep breaths and come to the present moment. Every time you're in the present moment, investigate. ask yourself, who are you? Immediately you'll find there's a certain peace and calm that comes over you. There's a certain quietening of thoughts that will happen. The second thing that you do, which I mentioned earlier, is to avoid autopilot. Know why you're doing certain things and exactly what you're doing. Do things through the day with the knowledge of why you're doing it. मैं तो ऐसे ही कर रही हूँ is not an answer.
Yeah, yeah. So the key here is self-awareness, right? Being aware of what you're doing and why you're doing. Yeah.
Very important. I cannot emphasize this enough. The third one that I have to add, which is pretty much the summation of the previous episode that we did, is controlling your attention. Reduce the number of things that are fighting for your attention.
True.
Try and simplify your life.
Yeah. But when you say controlling attention, what also comes to my head is who and what you give your attention to. Controlling attention should also come in terms of the people that you're giving attention to, right? The people at your workplace you choose to give attention to, the people in your house, the people amongst your social circle, like where your attention goes, your energy flows, right? That's what they say.
Completely. And just learn to say no to certain things, to certain people, to certain apps. Just learn to say no. I'm literally saying make a list of the things that are important to you. Pay most attention to them, and the rest can come in the miscellaneous category.
Oh my god, that's such a good way. That simplifies a lot. This, yeah. Like I always knew I could make a list of things that I have to give attention to, but the miscellaneous category makes more sense. You have to know what to put in miscellaneous.
The fourth one is, I think we all need to find our morning ritual and our evening rituals. I think we are very, as a generation, we are very careless about our mornings and evenings.
Yeah. I think for the longest time, I used to have this fight with my father where he would ask me to wake up early. This is when I was in my teens. It would make me very angry. Why does he believe in waking up so early? Like I would give him examples of Amitabh Bachchan doesn't sleep all night. Shah Rukh Khan goes to sleep at 5 in the morning. It sucks to accept that I was wrong and he was right, but there is a reason you're supposed to wake up early. Follow the nature's clock like we discussed in the last episode.
Yeah, follow the sun. It's for a reason. The fifth one, Aarti, is something that I cannot stress enough. Be in a mindful state throughout the day. And this has only come to me through meditation. And I can't stress on this point enough. In India, the amount of overwhelming reports that we've read of all kinds of people, from celebrities to migrant workers, to the situation of doctors and patients in our country, it is a time where it can be a trigger for a lot of anxious people who are fighting some certain other battles, who are already going through a certain amount of depression. Suddenly being forced to sit with your thoughts and with your mind can be a big struggle. And one of the ways I would earnestly suggest to everyone who listens to this is to find a meditation teacher. There are so many apps available today, both Indian and international.
True. In fact, I did a video also last year because that time I was going through a lot of anxiety. So I downloaded this app called Calm. But there are more apps also. There's another app called Headspace, and all of these इनके पास ना 5 मिनट से लेकर 10 मिनट से 15-20 आधा घंटा का meditation होता है. So I used to do the 5-minute meditations when I began, thrice a day, and it instantly calms you.
Also, Aarti, one of the things that is very helpful in understanding anxiety and depression is that if it's a mental health problem that has been an accumulation of several problems over the years, also understand the solution will take a little time.
Yeah.
For you to come to terms with it, it happens with 5 minutes a day. It just those 5 minutes a day will start to add up. It's like watching a tree grow. The reason why you should be meditating is because even though it sounds difficult, it's the most accessible self-love and self-care you can give to yourself.
Yeah.
I'm going to just leave you with this one phrase, which I truly believe in, which is simplicity is the key. Simplify. Take a bird's eye view of your life. Think of your life as a movie in which you're the main actor. And what is it that you will simplify in the movie and in the actor's life? And
That's a very nice perspective. Yeah.
if there is something that I truly have applied to my life, it's this. So, if I have to just give you a very simple example, when I started following Buddhism, I had a friend and a very, very strong Buddhist practitioner who was guiding me through the steps. He had gone to Dharamshala and he happened to see His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. And when he met me in Bombay, he gave me this mala that's blessed by His Holiness. So
Wow.
a lot of times, a lot of times when I'm feeling nervous or anxious or extremely sad or affected by what is happening around the world, this is what I go back to. This is what I hold and this is what I look at. I mean, sometimes I don't even have to sit and ponder and reflect. It's just going to this that gives me a lot of mental peace.
This is exactly what faith is, and this very beautifully kind of sums the episode. That sometimes you need just that little, you need these beads to make you feel at peace with the madness that's happening in the world right now. It's mad what's happening right now. Thank you so much for all the learnings, quite a few of them, very practical things to do.
You are very welcome, Aarti, and I truly hope this helps and reaches those who need it the most.
Okay.
And if anyone wants to reach out to me for just conversations and doubts that they may have, I'm happy to answer people's questions over emails.
Yeah. So over emails, and you're back on Instagram or not now? What is it? Are you back?
I'm back on Instagram.
So I think when I uploaded the last episode, she was on her Instagram detox. So I couldn't share her Instagram link in the last video, but this video I'll share it. So you can go message her, DM her, ask your questions. If you are in Bombay and you want to take yoga sessions, you also do yoga sessions, right? Yeah.
Yes,
Great.
I do. I do.
Great. So I'll put all of that niche. And again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Aarti. Thanks.
So that was the last episode of this mini series called Breaking Down Anxiety. I'm very happy I did this entire series. अगर तुम लोगों ने इस episode के अलावा बाकी वाले episodes नहीं देखे हैं, please go and watch the first three. I've tried to give you all a holistic view of what anxiety is through this series, what medical anxiety is और what anxiety disorders are. तो अगर तुम्हें और समझना है इनको, वो episodes जाकर देखो. और if you have any friends battling anxiety or any mental illnesses right now, उनके साथ ही share भी करो, क्योंकि इसमें बहुत सारे mechanisms दिए हुए, techniques दी हुई है to deal with these things. These videos are the ones that I do not do for views. Like, I know for a fact that when I put a video with mom, the kind of views that it gets within like just one day, and these videos don't really get those. But these are not for that. These are for all the comments that I get, all the DMs that I get on my Instagram, and all the personal WhatsApps that I get from people saying, यार मैं इसके साथ स्ट्रगल कर रही थी और ये एपिसोड देखने के बाद मुझे बहुत हेल्प हुई. दैट्स ऑल. दैट मेक्स मी सो हैप्पी. सो प्लीज़ शेयर करो इसको तुम्हारे उन लोगों के साथ हु आर डीलिंग विद दिस. एंड या, I'm going to go. I'll try and make some more stuff on these lines, more series in the future. Until then, you don't forget to let me know how you found this episode and this series in the comments below. And yeah, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell icon. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.